Hey guys, so I am here today. I wanted to talk to you guys about kind of everything that had happened in the YouTube community this weekend. There was a lot that went on Saturday, and if you guys don't know about it, I'm not going to say who. There's plenty of videos that I will have linked below that will tell you who, but I don't want to give her any credit. But basically, I was gone on Saturday, so I didn't really see anything that had happened until I was at home relaxing with Zach, and I started seeing these tweets, and I started seeing the tag that Lauren created, who is Loeybug, that is hashtag I am body positive, and I jumped on that tweet bandwagon because I have recently learned to love myself and kind of accept my body and accept myself and just, you know, all that self-loving goodness. And so I jumped on that hashtag bandwagon because I wanted to tweet about it, and then I saw she retweeted it, and I was like, oh my god, fangirling. And then a whole bunch of other people liked it, favorited it, retweeted it, all this stuff. And so I was like, okay, what's going on here? So I went on and I saw Kendall's video, and I had just watched her eating disorder video that she had made, and then this was kind of an addition to it and a response video to all this stuff that was going on. And so then late Saturday night I got a chance to watch it, and it was like, oh my god. So here is my story and response to this whole thing. So my story, if I have pictures, I will try to figure out how to get them on this video, but I will enter them here and in different random spots so you can see. But growing up, I was never a skinny person. I was never, I mean, my family, like my dad's side of the family, well, he's the only guy in his side of the family, but he has 6 sisters, and they are all curvy women. My mom, my aunt, my cousin, my other cousin, my grandma, we're all curvy women. We are all, it's not big bone, but we are thicker. And it's so much so, like my great grandma, she was not a big woman in any way, but she had hips. She definitely had that hourglass shape, and she had hips. Like, it didn't matter how skinny she was. And so if me personally, like if I was skinny, like I would still have hips. I would still have a shape to me. Like, it doesn't matter. There's pictures of my aunt from when she was my age, and she had hips. And I mean, it's just genetics. And that's a lot of the time how things are. So I was never, you know, a little girl. I mean, I was a little girl probably until I got to like 2nd grade is when I started feeling this way. So the tiny little town I lived in, it was me and this boy Terry, who were taller than everybody else in our class. So, and all the girls in my class were also really petite, and you can see it in, you know, the pictures that I'm going to show you guys. But I was always taller than everybody else and thicker than everybody else, and they were all these tiny little girls, and I envied them for that so much, but didn't really think anything of it, because in that tiny town we didn't really deal with bullies. I mean, we didn't deal with any issues like that. And then in 5th grade I moved out to Colorado, and that was a complete culture shock for me. I no longer was the tallest person in my class, but I was still on the bigger side of everybody else. Everybody was athletic, they'd always been outside, and you know, they were all fit, and I was not. I was very out of shape compared to all of these people in 5th grade. So I mean, even living in Nebraska, I didn't like gym class. I didn't like going and running around the track and all that stuff, but I did it because we had to. And it was still fun. I mean, it was not like, oh, you have to do this, go do this. And when I moved out here, that whole thing kind of changed. But I learned pretty quickly in middle school that I was definitely not in the same shape as all the other kids, and that I was overweight, and I was very, very self-conscious about that. My mom didn't want me to get made fun of, like, we'll go back to elementary school, but like during the summer and stuff, I would be wearing like bigger t-shirts, like an extra large t-shirt, like that I would round in, just so that way, because I developed earlier, I had my breasts earlier, and so did my mom, and my mom got made fun of for it, and when she was in school, and she didn't want me to get made fun of for it, so I would be wearing like, you know, extra large t-shirts and stuff. And I had these pair of shorts that I absolutely loved. They were like biker shorts, and they were white spandex, and I wore them everywhere. And my mom didn't want me to get made fun of for that, so she would have me wear like the big t-shirt over it because I had rolls and stuff going on. Now, in Nebraska, it was very, very humid, and very hot, and I had asthma, and so going out into that humidity was like I could not breathe because the air was just so thick and sticky feeling. If you've ever been to Nebraska, Maine, I don't know if Maine is humid, but like North Carolina, anywhere where it's humid, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, it was so humid there to the point that my mom's asthma was acting up. Like, this is a side note, but we were actually had to move back to Colorado so she wouldn't constantly be on like these steroids and inhalers and stuff because her asthma was that bad. And my brother and myself, well, I said I had asthma, but my brother also had asthma, and moving actually back to Colorado where it was so dry, he doesn't have it anymore. He outgrew it. I still have it, and it acts up when I get sick. I can feel it like if I climb mountains and stuff and go hiking, but I just take an inhaler with me and I'm okay. If that 14er, I've never actually climbed a 14er, but if there was a 14er in Nebraska and I climbed it, I probably wouldn't have made it to the top. I would have died. But anyway, so Nebraska, you know, you don't want to go out and run and be active in the summer, so we didn't. My mom worked nights, so she would get off work and be sleeping, and my brother and I would be watching TV, playing whatever games we were playing, you know, house, I don't know, whatever, we would do that. And while my mom was sleeping, I remember one time where we're not allowed to eat snacks and stuff unless we asked first, so we would ask my mom, and she was half asleep and would say sure. And there was one day she woke up, you know, in the evening, like a couple hours before my dad would get home, and so she could start making dinner and everything, and she was like, "You guys, where's all the food?" We're like, "Oh, we ate it." And she's like, "Oh my God, you ate all the food?" And we're like, "Oh no, we asked you. You said yes." And we didn't realize that at the time that it was taking advantage of her, and we did. And we ate all the snacks that we had. And so then it got to the point she bought like separate little containers and stuff and was like, "Okay, this is what you get. You get this morning snack, you get this for lunch, and you get this for, you know, your afternoon snack, and then I'll wake up and make you dinner." So we had to work through that stuff, but you know, I wasn't really active. My dad had a fast metabolism and would just lose the weight. Plus, I didn't realize, you know, how much work he was doing as a truck driver. It wasn't just sitting there in that truck driving. He actually did things, like you have to unload the trailer and everything. So I didn't really see that. I just saw it as, oh, he has fast metabolism and it's genetics, so I'll get that genetics someday. And no, my brother got that genetics, not me. But you know, and I would watch my brother eat whatever he wanted and not gain a pound from it. And that just wasn't the case for me. So, fast forward to when we were living in Colorado, we still weren't very active, and we moved to a place that was more developed, and it was a suburb of Denver, and is newer, and my mom still worked nights, so she didn't want us, like, you know, out running around during the day because she didn't know where we were. We didn't have cell phones at the time. She didn't know if we were okay. So we had to stay in our house and didn't have any activities. Still, we're just eating snacks and stuff, and, you know, I was still bigger. I think my heaviest weight was 250, and I was probably around 17 when I hit that weight. And I recently got Kaiser insurance through my work, and I went logged in online, and we had Kaiser when I was in 5th grade, and I was like 210, not 210 in 5th grade, like 5th or 6th grade, I was like 209 or something. I was in the upper 200s, and being able to see that last year when I went and looked at my previous stuff, and knowing that at 22 I weighed less than I did at like 12 is a crazy thing. I went on different diets with my mom when I was in middle school. We went on the Atkins diet, and that is just shitty. Like, I know the Atkins diet works for some people because something is going to work for somebody and it's not going to work for somebody else because everybody is different. And I'm pretty sure I've said this before. But, you know, a diet that's going to work for, you know, a Victoria's Secret model may not be the right solution for somebody who is 300 pounds overweight. Just saying. But we went on the Atkins diet, and that was very, very difficult. You get 20 carbs a day. That is it. Do I have any kind of snacks around here to show you guys what 20 carbs a day looks like? No, of course not. It's like half a Pop-Tart. 20 carbs a day is all you get. And we were not nice on that relationship, on that diet. We were bitchy. We felt moody all the time. It got to the point where we were like hiding food from my dad and my brother. Like they would have their dinner, like my mom would make food for them, and then she would make us like our little hamburger patty. And I mean, it was miserable watching them eat and not being able to eat flavored things, and watching my dad barbecue for him and my brother, and we couldn't eat it, and it sucked. And I feel personally like if you're gonna go on a diet, you know, like this is, you know, after the fact. I'll tell you about that in a second. Okay, so other diets we've done, there was one that actually really worked. We couldn't stick with the Atkins diet, it just wasn't working for us. We went on another one where you eat, like, it's a 3-day thing, but you go like every 3 days. So like, say you started on a Monday. So Monday you get up for breakfast and you have like 4 crackers, half an apple, and a piece of cheese. And then the next day for breakfast you have an egg, and then the next day, and it gives you like a whole meal plan, but and one of them is actually a half a cup of like vanilla ice cream for dessert, so you're not suffering. So that kind of is more in the if it fits your macros thing, because you're not suffering. You're not, oh my god, I can't eat this, and all you want to do is eat that. When you go on a diet that's like you restrict yourself from food, you're gonna want nothing but that food. You're like, oh, I have to eat salad and veggies, and that's it. I can't have ice cream, I can't have this. And if you sit there and you plan it out, like you use MyFitnessPal or something, you can plan it out. You can still eat that candy bar if you want it. No big deal. But I'll talk more about that in a minute. But we did that diet, which worked out really well, but then we didn't stick to it, and I didn't know how much weight I had lost from that diet, and my mom ended up telling me, she's like, you know, this is how you looked, and we almost had you to where you want to be, but I didn't stick to it. And then high school happened. My parents went through a divorce, and that was a really, really complicated situation, which is a story I will save for another day. But basically it was a very long, couple-year, drawn-out process. I had a lot of issues with that. We had other issues, other things that happened, and we didn't care what we ate. And after my dad no longer lived with us, it was kind of, we were just eating whatever we wanted. Like a summer typically would be me and my brother each get a tub of whatever ice cream, because that way if somebody ate all, we had to do that because if somebody ate all of the ice cream, we could be like, oh, I only got 1 bowl of it and you had 18 bowls of it. So we each got our own. When it was gone, it was gone. You know, that's just how it went. And so we'd have like that and pizza rolls, and we'd sit there not doing anything, not being active, not anything. And you know, there are times where my mom will blame herself for stuff like this, and I'm like, you know, no, we were very lazy and we didn't want to go do anything, so that's essentially all our fault. We could have been out wanting to do things, and we did, you know, we were lazy. So, and then I moved out, and my diet was definitely not good at all, and I mean, my mom was always supportive about everything, saying, you know, she'll help me get to wherever I want to be, she'll do it with me, so it's not like I had problems there. I just didn't want to do it. And so when I moved out, I moved in with my dad, and pretty much immediately got together with my ex-boyfriend, and that's when things really started to go bad. I already hated myself. Like, I didn't really hate myself. I just did not like, I could not look at myself naked. I could not look at myself in certain clothes. Like, my senior year of high school, I wore a pair of jeans, like just a different pair of jeans every day, but a pair of jeans, whatever shoes, and I had 4 shirts that I rotated through. I had well, I still have it, but I had a navy blue hoodie that said Colorado across the chest, and then I had, that was like an extra large size. I had my hoodie for my school that was an extra large that was black, and then I had a long sleeve t-shirt that was navy blue and a black long sleeve t-shirt, and I rotated between those 4 things. And it got to the point where my brother was like, okay, it looks like you're wearing the same thing every day. I'm like, oh no, this is navy blue. I'll wear this navy blue hoodie on Monday, and then Tuesday I'll wear the black long sleeve t-shirt, so it's not a hoodie. And then Wednesday, you know, I was switching it up, and I rationalized it in my mind. And my boyfriend at the time was states away from me, who I'd never really met. Yes, I still call him a boyfriend because it was like 8 months. We talked to each other nonstop. That's a different story. Anyway, so I wasn't wearing like anything that would show anything. I didn't wear shorts. I mean, I assumed in high school that people thought I was disgusting. There was one point, this guy I liked, I saw on MySpace that he referred to me as the fat chick who sits and stares. So that's something that's going to stick with you for a while. Like, it's not going to get out of your head. So I was already down on myself. I couldn't get up in front of the class and do any kind of presentations because I was afraid people were staring at me in a negative way because it had happened before. So I just assumed that everybody was looking at me with a negative light. And, you know, I had friends, you know, like my best friends in high school, Sam and Casey, they told me how gorgeous I was and how beautiful they thought I was, and I didn't believe them. I'm like, oh yeah, you're gorgeous too. I mean, I thought they were absolutely beautiful and idolized them. And I recently actually met up with them, and because one of them was having a Shark Week party, and I was talking to Casey, and I was like, you know, I thought I was so disgusting. She's like, oh my god, dude, no, you're beautiful. I'm like, yeah, I know that now, but it took so long. But getting to that point was really difficult. So when I was with my ex, we ate out constantly. We would buy groceries and then not eat them because we would constantly eat out. And there's other factors that went along with that. Like, my dad's ex-girlfriend was a crazy bitch, and like had her, it was a 2-bedroom apartment. She had like her entire family living there. But anyway, so we couldn't make food ever, and we didn't want to be home with her, so we would always eat out. And then we would not go, like, we would go, he wanted to hike mountains and stuff, which I know you're thinking, well, Marcy, you hike mountains all the time. Yes, but back then I didn't want to, and I didn't want to be like physically active because it was hard for me because I was out of shape, and my ex was not supportive in any way. So if we went to go, like, for, you know, we went to go hike somewhere in Vail one time, and he would complain because I wasn't walking as fast as him. He'd be like, oh, you have this ugly look on your face, because I was wearing glasses, so I was squinting. So squinting was an ugly look on my face. I mean, he would just bring me down constantly. And then when I did start losing weight, he wasn't losing weight anymore. And because he'd lost like probably 50 pounds from the time I met him to the time, you know, to the up until this point, like the middle of our relationship. And he had a lot of issues, and he was extremely emotionally abusive to me. And I put on a dress that was tight on me, and it was actually the size it was supposed to be on me, and I was like so excited. I was like, oh my god, look. He's like, yeah. I'm like, don't I look great? He's like, no. You look a lot sexier if you lost a few more pounds. I'm like, and at that point, I kind of just lost it and didn't care anymore. I would secretly, I wasn't allowed to eat food. Like, if we were sitting there watching a movie or something at night, and he was like, oh, go get me an ice cream bar, and I'd be like, oh, okay, and then I bring one back for myself. He'd be like, oh my god, you're copying me. I'm like, no, you said that sounded good, and, you know, it sounded good, so I wanted one too. Like, why is that an issue? Oh no, you're copying me. You're only eating this because I'm eating this. So it got to the point where I actually had to go put my food back and not eat it sometimes because he would give me that much shit for it. If we went out to eat, like even if we went to Taco Bell or something, I would get bitched at because I ordered something that wasn't off the dollar menu, and because you know how girls do, you know, oh yeah, I'm gonna wait to see what he orders so I can order something in the same price range. Well, even if I did that, I would always make sure it was cheaper, and I would always get shit for it. So it wasn't a very good situation. I would binge eat all the time, and it wasn't until I actually left him when I started feeling confident in myself because I was no longer getting that shit. And when I met Zach, you know, when we first actually started dating and becoming, you know, like really, you know, intimate with each other and everything, and people knew, he told me that he thought I looked great the way I am, but he would do whatever he could to help me get to achieve any goals that I had. And hearing that was amazing. It's like, okay, you love me the way I am already, but if I wanted to look different, you would help me get there. And he's actually told me he doesn't want me to be like skinny or anything because he loves me for my curves. He loves me because I am thicker, and he's always liked thicker girls. I mean, I was talking to his mom one day, and there was a girl that he called like the skeleton girl in elementary school because she was so skinny, and she had a crush on him, and he came home and was like, Mom, the skeleton girl's staring at me again. And I mean, it was just funny, but that's what he likes. So my response, you know, to all of this is it's taken me so long to love myself because I have been hurt by other people for my size. And when it's an emotional thing, you can't just fix it. And bullying people into you know, let's put out, you know, any kind of disorders, any thyroid disorders, any kind of eating disorders, whatever. If you are just obese, yes, there are people who do not want to lose weight. They have absolutely no desire to, because they would rather eat their McDonald's Big Macs and everything and sit on their couch and be lazy. I was one of those people. It happens. Those people can't be bullied into losing weight because they don't want to do it. People who have emotional issues can't be bullied into losing weight because it's going to hurt them even more. Sometimes it happens, you know, they say, oh my god, I saw that picture, or oh my god, somebody said something and it changed my life. The next day I went and did this and got a gym membership and now I lost 800 pounds, you know, stuff like that. But you can't be bullied into losing weight. It has to be something that you want for you. And that is a lot. I mean, it's a hard thing for people to deal with. Working in the medical field, I see tons of people who are overweight, and for different reasons. Some of them, yeah, they have disorders from the thyroid, of whatever. Some people are just 400 pounds and they don't, it just happened. And they don't have any desire to lose the weight. They want to sit there and live off the system and sit in a wheelchair and not be able to move and have to be on oxygen because they can't breathe and all this stuff. And that breaks my heart, because it's like, you could be healthy, you could do this, and you're choosing not to, and I don't understand that. But you cannot bully someone into it. If you have a friend who is overweight, you can help them. Be like, hey, let's go for a walk. Hey, let's go do this. And that's how Zach helped me. It was like, okay, let's go for a walk. When you make it a together thing, instead of, oh, you need to go work out, you need to do this. It's like, you don't have a support system. Oh, we're going to go walk. We are going to go do this. We're going to go do it together. I have lost a lot of weight since I met Zach, and I don't really see it in the scale as much because I started doing yoga, so I started gaining more muscle mass, and unfortunately muscle weighs more than fat. So you can lose 50 pounds and then gain 25 pounds, and you're going to be like, oh my god, I'm an emotional wreck because, you know, I don't see it in the scale, but you're getting muscle, and that's better than fat. I don't know. It's just a difficult thing, and I think dieting is hard when you restrict yourself on food. If you do the if it fits your macros kind of thing, it helps, because knowing that I can have, you know, my Milky Way ice cream bar for dessert, yeah. Knowing I can have a Pop-Tart for breakfast because I'm making it fit in my calories, it's great. And I will have more videos on that kind of stuff because, you know, I started doing this last year and it's become more of a thing. So, especially for myself. And I want to hold myself accountable because I'm not perfect. You know, I've fallen off the bandwagon. In the last couple of weeks I've been really sick and haven't been able to even film. You can see it from my vlogs, but I have just been sick and I didn't want to do yoga, because if I was going to do yoga, I'm like sitting there doing the downward facing dog or whatever, and my nose is going to be dripping all over the place. I'm going to be coughing because my lungs are crackly. I mean, it was just not a good time. But getting back on there, I want to hold myself accountable and have more videos like this for you guys. And something else I wanted to tell you. Of course, I forgot it right now. Okay, so in middle school, we had gym class, which was mandatory, but you could pick different things within gym class. It's like, okay, so for the next 6 weeks, you can play basketball, or you can go do soccer, and you learned all about the sport and stuff as well as playing it. And they had a weightlifting one, and if you were a girl wanting to do weights, you had to get your parents' permission to do so. Along with wrestling. Wrestling, I understand. But weightlifting, you had to have your parents' permission to do so. And that right there is like, oh, girls don't lift weights. Girls can't lift weights. They'll get bulky and look terrible. Look at Nikki Blackner. She is smoking. She does not look bulky or disgusting or manly. Like, I'm still a little congested, but she looks great. And seeing her vlogs, because I've had that in my mind forever, that girls don't lift weights. The only weights girls lift are like these tiny little pink ones, and they just go like do things like this and like this so that we can, you know, tone up this underarm flabbiness. That is all. That is the only time a girl should ever lift weights. And after watching Nikki Blackner's videos and seeing Marissa Lace get into the, you know, fit lifestyle and everything as well, it changed me to the core, because I'm like, oh, I can go lift weights. This is okay, because it was drilled into my mind that girls don't do that. Girls do that. Girls can do whatever they want. And as far as, you know, you can lose weight from that as well. And it's not cardio. You're not running on a treadmill. It's actually not that terrible of a thing to do. So I will, you know, I'm trying to get into the lifting part of it myself, but doing yoga and stuff has helped me immensely. So, I will have a video linked below that I did of how to get back on track or how to just start with a weight loss journey, so you guys can see that. But definitely love yourself, and it takes a lot. It's something that I struggle with to this day. But you know, because of the whole mental, emotional abuse thing, there are things every day, you know, not even weight related, that I struggle with on a daily basis, and I'm still getting there. I'm still learning. It's a learning process, and you know, but I do love myself. I do know if I put something on and I'm not feeling confident, it's like, you know what, I am hot though. Yes, I'm having a bad body confidence day, but I know that I've lost this much weight. I know that when I walk by myself in a reflective window, I don't look the way I'm making myself look, because I still see that 250-pound, very insecure, shy, fat chick that just sits and stares, and that is something that is imprinted into my mind forever. And I also have a resting bitch face, so I'm sure that didn't help things. It explains a lot, actually, from high school, but you know, yeah, you can see. So, it changes a lot, because I just assumed that guys didn't like me and didn't want to talk to me because I was gross, and that's not the case at all. So, I mean, even looking back on pictures of myself from then, I'm like, wow, I didn't look the way I thought I did. But you see yourself as the most disgusting version of yourself for whatever reason. So you have to learn to retrain your brain for that. Say, I am hot, I look good, I've lost this much weight, look at those curves, look at that ass. My husband is here because of my curves, not solely because of my curves, but he loves me for them. He's not being an asshole and telling me I'd be sexier if I lost weight. No, not at all. So, I hope you guys like this video. Please give it a thumbs up, and love yourself. And I'll talk to you all later.